Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, July 18th, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, CONY, NVDY, and MSTY. So, real quick update. This is the first I'm actually looking at this article. I heard people talking about it in Discord, but it doesn't make sense to me. But either way, Defiance announced a 1-for-3 reverse stock split on QQQY, JEPY, and IWMY. Some more information down here. So this just gives you, you can go directly on their website. There's actually a news article there. So this says it'll be effective August 1st. Okay, so that's good to know. I mean, all you really need to know is for every three that you own of these funds, you're gonna now own one. But the value essentially the value doesn't change, right? Whatever the amount that's in your brokerage does not change. So if you own 300 shares of QQQY and they're $15 each, August 1st, you'll own 100 shares of QQQY for $45 each. And that's basically it. The distribution, if it was, say, 60 cents previously, it should be around like $1.80, for example, So again, it's more so to protect them from getting under the $10 range. They like to stay above that. Obviously, if they do a 1-for-3, they're going to be above that for a while. But obviously, as well, this is going to make it a little more expensive to own the shares. So I'm kind of surprised they did a 1-for-3. And I'm kind of surprised they did it now. Because most of these are like $14-15. So they're not approaching the under $10 range. I didn't check yesterday. I know the market was down, but this was a surprise for me. Do I care? No, I don't. The only reason I would care is because I own 200 shares of each. So now I'm going to have an ugly number. So I like nice round numbers. So like I said, the fact that they're doing a reverse split, they could do this, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. Forward, reverse split, again, the value of the fund remains, right? The distribution you get is typically the same. It's just the only negative I see is like the how the market reacts to it. They're going to look at this as a negative. So I think they're probably just getting it done now, and hopefully don't have to worry about it. Maybe at least for another year, right? If you do a 1-for-3, put it up to $45 or so, then we don't have to talk about it anymore. We could avoid the questions on the interviews from people like retire on dividends. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know. Yeah. So that's the news on that. Whatever. Let me know what you guys think. But I don't think there's any concern there. All right. So, oh my God. Busy day yesterday. Look at this freaking trades, man. NVDY, we got CONY, and we got MSTY. Let me start with NVDY. All right. So I'm not going to go on the details I did yesterday. So we'll make this as quick as possible without trying to skip over anything. So NVDY, real quick, they have a buy, call, sell, put, sell, call, top three. So they added 3,250 contracts to the synthetic position, and then they sold calls in there. So great. And then they did BCs. That means they closed out their weeklies early. Awesome freaking job. They paid under 10 cents each. And then they used their contracts, but guess what? Not all of them. They used half of their contracts and they sold calls into the following week. So awesome. That's all I could say. Awesome. Now let's go to the spreadsheet. All right, so they have a synthetic of 127. Here is where they added the contracts. They actually got a massive credit. They got about 2.6 million for adding to that position, but that's because the strike price is, about $10 higher. So for selling the put, they'll get a much higher credit than it would cost to buy the call, because it's 7.09% away. Expiration date is August 16th, about a month away. So, we got time to recover too. So all is well. Now, let's look at July. So let's scroll all the way over. First, we'll see how NVIDIA did yesterday. NVIDIA went down 6.64%. NVDY Oh, wait. Of course the number changed. There you go. NVIDIA went down 6.62%. NVIDY went down 6.62%. Look at that. Exact. But yeah, the market got destroyed yesterday. Yeah, bad day. Bad day for the market. So let's just look what happened here. Let's zoom in, zoom out. Let's try to get this all on one page. So first off, they closed out their positions from that expire this Friday. So they still had 2 trading days left. And well, they had 3, including yesterday. But they only paid 10 cents per share to close it. So this was a no-brainer because they were 12 and 15% out of the money. So that's why it's so cheap. They only paid about, what, $500,000 total. So in the end, the profit for those transactions was about $9.7 million net. So awesome job right there. And then they used the 3,250 contracts. These are the new, the new shares that got purchased and got added to the synthetic. They chose a 125 strike expiring into next week, and that's 5.94% out of the money. So again, that's what, 7 trading days, and that's 5.94% of the money. Is that tight? Maybe. What did it yield though? It yielded on an annualized basis 53.96%. So that's typically around their IV, so that makes sense. And then the other position, they used 35,220 contracts with a 126 strike price. That's 6.79% out of the money. So they did scatter strikes already, and this yielded them a little less. So they played it safe. Look at that, 45% yield. But guess what? They only used half the contracts. If you look over here, I think I did the math on the bottom. That's the difference. So again, the synthetic shows how many contracts they have. 73,690. If you subtract out what they did on the calls, they still have 35,220 contracts to play with. So they have today's Thursday, obviously. They'll probably do, if there's a recovery of NVIDIA today, then, that's smart, right? Because obviously they could sell strike prices a little higher in case, right? Go further out of the money. If it goes down, if NVIDIA goes down, then maybe they should not have waited, right? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. I personally think it's a good strategy because it looked like an over sell-off yesterday. I mean, the market could still go down today, so we don't know. But from my experience, days like yesterday would typically be followed by either a light green day or, a pretty good green day. But what the hell do I know? I'm a sweaty guy in the garage. All right, so outstanding shares, unbelievable, man. Increase of 1.3 freaking million, 4.18% increase. So yes, NVIDIA is still the GOAT, and they cannot be stopped. So all right, here's the recap though. 30-day IV, 52%. Outstanding shares, an even 33 mil. Income from the weekly calls, 22 million. Well, just 22.7 million. Distribution comes to 69 cents a share, daily income 5 cents a day, daily yield 0.17%. And if you annualize that, that's 63.55%. So good stuff right there. Money bag is here. We're just filling it. We keep making money on NVIDIA. All right, so here's the payment breakdown. We got synthetic income of 1.2 million. That's good. Short call income of 22.7 million. That's also good. So if you look at total income per share, it's 73 cents. Short call income alone is 69 cents. So if you take just the short call income and you estimate that comes to about $1.56 when all said and done, which is a 71% yield. That's a pretty good number, man. That is a solid number. I would take that in a heartbeat. All right, as far as holdings are concerned, nothing to really talk about. Obviously, they got the synthetic hanging around, expires next month. And now they got 2 weeklies expiring into next week. So we got nothing to talk about. But we can look at the net asset value, $869.5 million. The NAV is $26.35, and the trade price is $26.36. Okay. So that was NVDY. And this is where it gets interesting. CONY. What the heck did they do? So whenever you see something like an S right at the top, right? S. That means typically they're selling the call on the synthetic. So what they did is, I'm not going to call it a synthetic bailout because the synthetic did not bail them out. But they closed out the synthetic and they closed out the disaster. They closed out the whole disaster. Let's just say that. So, and then they chose a new synthetic and they started new positions into the weeklies. So normally we'd be like, oh yeah, we just made a crap load on the synthetic. We'd be celebrating, running around naked in the streets. But today we're just banging our head on the wall saying, come on, man. But it is what it is. The timing, sometimes the timing doesn't work out on these. But we'll show you what it looks like. Let's get to it. All right, so CONY. Let's get to the 230. So this was their old synthetic, right? 230. So they closed out this position yesterday. And what did they get? They got $33, right, per share. You see in green. And then they paid $10.74 for the call. So scroll to the right. They basically made $68.5 million on the synthetic. That's good money, right? Not bad. So that added, in the end, July profits for this synthetic, $74.7 million. That's good money, no doubt. So they started the new synthetic, 250 strike, cost them about 7.3 mil, which, again, that happens. Sometimes it cost them a decent amount. But their new, where the hell? I lost the other part of it. That's interesting. My big little bar here is gone. All right, I'll have to add that back. Either way, guys, either way. So I'll do that on the computer. So here's the new position. 30,800 contracts. Doesn't show the strike here, but it's on the tab. 250 strike, right? If we go back here, right, you see they closed at 230 and then they opened at 250 strike, okay? This is not surprising because, again, a lot of activity yesterday. So we saw what happened on the synthetic, okay? And we'll get to let's look first how coin did yesterday. Overall, I have to say, not a bad day. Coin went down 0.95%. CONY went down 1.53%. Yeah, damaging day, just damaging, but I'm glad it's over. But it's not really over because we're in the same month, so we still have to talk about it. But to recap, let's take a look. So they closed out the contracts that were blown through, all right? If you look to the right, the way right, 7 and 8% in the money. So if you look at the close price, column I, this is what they paid, $20.20, $24.98 for the 230. So they lost a lot of money. That's the moral of the story. How much money did they lose? If you go all the way to the right, you see the call debit. This is how much they paid. 1.6 million, 72.2 million, and 2.6 million. Profit loss, again, this is how much they lost on the overall activity. So it was like, what, 68 million loss on the contracts from last week. Yes, that sucks. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. But it is what it is, and it's already priced in the NAV. But yeah, it's over, okay? The weekly calls that got destroyed are over. They started the new position, 30,800 contracts, 275 strike, 10.4% out of the money. This is with 7 trading days, okay? So that's a 275 strike, and that's yielding 69. Well, one yielded, the higher one yielded 69%. Their 30-day IV is 74%. So that's kind of in line. Okay, so that's good. So what did they make on that? Well, they made 12.7 mil and 216,000, okay? So the question is, what was the damage from yesterday? And lucky for you, I have a little chart for that now, even though I lost my black box somehow. But here we are, okay? So closeouts. They had the 30,800 contracts, obviously. They made 68.5 mil on the synthetic, and then it cost them more to close the weekly, 76.5 mil. So they lost 7.9 million on the closeout overall. The new position, we saw the synthetic cost them 7.3 million, but the weeklies brought in 12.9 million. So the new position netted them income of 5.5 million. So all in all, they lost 2.4 million on the synthetic disaster, right? It's not a synthetic bailout, synthetic disaster. So that's, it could be worse, of course. It's almost, I know it's in the millions, obviously, but everything's in the millions when it comes to these ETFs. But it was just a bad spot to be in. So now if you look at the new synthetic, it's at what, 250, right? And if you look at the new strikes, where are they at? 275, we said? So that's much better, right? If these strikes get blown through, say the 280, 285, then obviously this 250 synthetic is going to be very valuable. The problem was, the synthetic strikes were so close to the strikes here. In fact, they were like equal or lower in some cases. So that was the issue. But again, the hard part is over. We ripped the Band-Aid off. We're moving on. But yes, it was ugly. Still is ugly. Now, outstanding shares, to add, another punch to the face. You got two black eyes now. Outstanding shares went down by 275,000. So just kick a guy while he's down. Why don't you? All right, 30-day IV, 74.99%. That's awesome. Outstanding shares, 35 mil. All right, weekly calls are, now they lost $46.5 million. Yeah, that sucks. So, typically in a scenario like this, we'd have the synthetic little raft. It's going to save you. It's a synthetic bailout. Now it's a synthetic drowning. There's no saving. There's tidal wave. There's waves everywhere. There was no saving yesterday. But again, it had to happen. So it's over. Okay, what's the damage though? Well, synthetic income total. Yes, we do have synthetic income, 19.5 mil. Short call income is a loss of 46.5. So net income is a loss of 26.9 mil. So if you look here, total income is a loss of 76 cents per share. Short call is a loss of 131 per share. So we have no money. There's no money to give out for the distribution this month. So last month we paid $1.57. This month we were paying $0. No, I'm just kidding. They're still going to pay you. They're still going to yield you typically around the IV. But some months, it's not going to work out. And it is what it is. You can't expect perfection every single month. Things like this are going to happen. And again, people on the outside who don't watch my videos or don't look at the nitty gritty or don't watch the other people's videos that do what I do, they don't care, right? They're just looking at the price. And that rightfully so. As long as their cost basis is still pretty, they don't give a damn about this information. Should they? It's up to them, honestly. Obviously, you and I, we care because we want them to make the right decisions. Plus, we love options, right? We want to see what they're doing and learn from them. So there's a lot of benefits to looking down to this level. All right, so here's the holdings now. Again, we got synthetic 250 now. So hopefully we can make some money on this new synthetic. And then we got one call, 275 call. So expiring into next week. So not much to talk about now. Probably not going to have a lot of trades for the rest of the week unless it's new contracts. But the net asset value of CONY is 710 mil. And the NAV is 19.99, trade price 19.94. So even after all this disgusting disaster, we're still almost $20 per share. You can't hate on CONY. Regardless of what happened, you can't hate on CONY. It's a powerful fund. They're still at almost the launch price, right? Whatever they launched at, I don't know, probably 19 something. They're still above the launch price. So, and they paid out how much? An insane amount of money. I mean, at the end of this month, they will have paid out 100% of the original price at launch. So as much as we want to say what a freaking disaster, at the same time, we have to say it's still a great fund. All right, time to move on. Let's stop talking about CONY. But yeah, I mean, this one, I think it's even worse. But here we go. Same thing. All right, they're selling the call. All right, 53 they made. BC closing the put, 32. And then what? All right, so they're making a new synthetic. Well, look at that. 1550, 1550. Okay, same strike. All they're doing, they're moving up the date. They're saying, all right, let's roll it. Just roll it up. Roll up the date. Let's keep the strike. We'll roll up the date. But let's close out what we got going on the weeklies, because that's not pretty, and it was not pretty. Look at that, 130. Yikes. Let's see what it looks like, though. All right. Where is MSTY? Here we go. 1550. Here's the old one. How much did they make here? Well, they made 53. They paid 32. In the end, they netted 5.3 million. If you look at column G all the way to the right, that's nothing crazy. Because look, they're only 2.58% above the strike. So this is not impressive. This is not impressive numbers right here. So, but anyway, July profits for this synthetic 13.9 mil, 9 mil. So not bad. Again, new synthetic. Did I delete the black on this? No, at least I did that one right. So here's the new synthetic. They added the same amount of contracts, buy, call, sell, put. They paid about 7 mil to start this new position. And again, this expires 1 month out. We got 30 days. I wish they'd go 2 months out, but here we are again, 30 days. 1550 strike price, July profits. Again, we have a debit of 7 mil at the moment, but we'll see. And oddly enough, talk about splits. Yeah, Defiance is having a reverse split. MSTR is having a forward split, 10-1 on August 1st as well. So anyway, so that's the synthetic. Now let's look at the bad news here. The bad news here. MSTR, how'd they do yesterday? Market was ugly, but MSTR actually didn't do that terrible. They went down 4.46%. MSTY, wow. MSTY went up 0.46%. So MSTR went down 4.46. MSTY went up 0.46%. It's almost like I don't believe it. But there were, yeah, it must have, I don't know. I guess because they were so far in the money that, you know, the further, and if it goes down at all, they're going to make a, you know, they're going to do well because their strikes were just destroyed. So I don't know what time they closed and whatnot, but obviously they made money on the new positions as well. But either way, that's good to see. Okay, I'll take it. So this is what we're here for. They paid $130 per share to close out their 1455 strike because it got murdered. It got destroyed. They paid $32.9 million. In the end, they lost $21.6 million from that. So, I mean, again, back to, I wasn't happy with the 4% out of the money. Okay. And if you see like the annualized yield, now obviously we're yielding negative. But when you take this out here, the close price, you clear that, and you go over here. If you recall, they were shooting for an annualized yield of 166%. They should not have done that. I mean, either way, their calls would have been blown through. But again, like, had they gone a little further out of the money, the damage would have been a little less. I know it's a, you know, we're talking, we're nitpicking here, but still, it's the important things that matter. Like, why shoot for that high a yield when your IV is 90%? But now we're paying $130 per share. Maybe we could have paid $100 to close it out, right? We could have been in a better position. But regardless, let's talk about the new position. 1675 is the new strike, 5.35% out of the money with 7 trading days. I'm not very comfortable with that either, to be honest. That's 122% annualized yield. And with a 90% IV, again, I think they could have gone at least $10 higher. I don't know. I didn't look at the premiums and whatnot, but it's just way too tight for me. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, though. All right, outstanding shares, no movement. Okay, no movement. All right, so the recap is, I'll do the recap and then I'll show you the numbers. 30-day IV, 90%. Outstanding shares, 14,475,000. Total income on the weeklies is a loss of 11.4 million. Okay, so when all said and done, just like we did the recap on the other, let's look at this one. So the closeouts, again, number of contracts, 2535. They made 5.3 million on the synthetic. We saw that. Closeouts cost them 32.9 million to close out the weekly. So in the end, for the closeout, they lost 27.6 million. So obviously, this was not a synthetic bailout either. This was a synthetic disaster. Now, the new position, the synthetic cost them 7 million, but the weeklies netted them 12 million. So, okay, they made 5.1 million. Great. However, if you net the two together, in the end yesterday, much worse than CONY, they lost 22.4 million. And when I say lose, again, this was already essentially priced into the net asset value of the fund. However, this is now a taxable event. It's an actual transaction on the books, right? It'll go into the semi-annual or annual report. By the way, I think they posted their semi-annual reports if anyone is interested. You should have gotten an alert from your brokerage if you own any of these funds. I didn't check which funds they were referencing, but I'm assuming it's all of them. All right, so yeah, that was the end of that. So the reaction, they're just, yeah, they didn't yield anything. Synthetic didn't save them. Weekly calls destroyed. It was just a bad day. All right, nothing more we can say. So, what about the payment? Are we going to get paid? Well, believe it or not, we still got synthetic income, 6.9 mil. But short call income loss is more. The loss is 11.4. So we have a loss of 4.5 million. So in the end, what are we producing? What are we producing? Nothing. Okay, that's why I say yield nothing. And yes, they're going to pay you still. They're probably going to pay you what the IV is, regardless. But however, we still like to make the income of on the fund for the month. I saw someone, I don't know where this was, someone asked yesterday, where's the $8 that they made in the beginning? So if you look here, yes, that first month when this fund launched, they made $8.77, right, per share. They paid $4.12. That was a NAV reserve of $4.64. But where'd it go? The next month they lost $6.39 per share and they paid $2.52. So in fact, that was a NAV loss of $8.91. So there it went, right? Then after that, obviously, they made $3.91. They paid $3.03. That's good. And then after that, they made $1.69, but they paid $2.33, so they lost $64. And now in this month, they lost 31 cents already, and they're going to pay probably a decent number, $1 and change or so. And it's going to be another loss in the NAV reserve. So, but either way, that's where it went for that person who asked. I don't even know if it was in the Discord or if I saw it on the. I think it was in the Discord. All right, so that's it. That's the damage. I mean, hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it is what it is. So here we are, the holdings. What do we got? We got the synthetic, again, expires 8/16. So nothing to really talk about. And we got the call that expires next week. So no rush to even talk about that. Here's the net asset value, 407.7 mil. The NAV is 28.17 and the trade price is 28.32. All right, so that's that. I can't forget about TSLY. I almost did. So they had no trades. But again, to recap, they have two synthetic positions. They have a 260 and a 265, both of which expire August 16th. So we have 30 days to talk about that. But how did Tesla do yesterday in the bear market? Tesla went down 3.14%. TSLY only went down 2.75%. So, okay, not bad. How do their weekly calls look? Well, pretty big gap in days here. Let me make this bigger. So they have a 275 that expires Friday. Over, 31,000 contracts, and it's 10.66% out of the money. Pretty safe. Two trading days, 10% out of the money, I'll take it. The position into next week, 1,005 contracts, 282.50, that's 13.68% out of the money. looks pretty safe as well. But that has 7 trading days, so you never know. Outstanding shares, did it increase? Abso-freaking-lutely. It went up 125,000. So while everyone else, all these crypto ETFs are, getting destroyed. I wonder how Ybit did. Finally TSLY's on the other side of it, right? CONY and MSTY were doing fantastic in the beginning, and TSLY was just awful. Now the shoes on the other foot here. 30-day IV, 62%. Outstanding shares, 48.2 mil. Income is not income, though. They have a loss of 44.7 mil. But don't worry, they actually had a synthetic bailout, so it worked out. Reaction, yeah, they're just winking. They're watching the other fund managers go crazy yesterday. Like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I hope I keep my job. But here we are. Look at this. Oh, damn. 118.6 mil synthetic income. Short call loss, 44 mil. Who gives a damn? Net income is 73.9 mil. See, that's a synthetic bailout. All right, total income per share, 153 for the month. How much are they going to pay us? Well, they're going to pay us over $1. That's what I'm calling. I'm calling it right now, over a freaking $1. And people are going to love it. And I've been tracking TSLY from the beginning of the fiscal year. If you're wondering, the same thing that I just covered on the other. For the most part, then first month they made $1.65, paid out 60. They had reserve of $1.04. Next month, again, reserve of 37, but then they lost 160, lost 35 cents, 391, lost 33 cents, 16 cents, gained 82 cents last month, and here they are. They're up $1.53. So overall for the year, I have to say, TSLY, they lost $2.58 per share, including this month without the payment, but still, that's not bad. That's not terrible. So, and I could do, if you guys want, I could do like a recap of TSLY, like for the fiscal year, see how they did overall. Let me know if that's of interest. It's probably not, because most of you just watch the dailies, so I don't know if you want to go back to history. But I do have all the history, and I could talk about it if you guys want. All right, so as far as the holdings go, again, we got a synthetic, expires August 16th, and we got a call expiring next week. But the focus is here, 19 cents. That's how much it costs to close out the call for this week. So will they close that out early? They might. You figure they would have done it yesterday. But yet again, they're probably going to win. They could let it drain out to a penny if they wait till Friday. But time will tell. Net asset value, 802.9 mil. NAV is 1616. Trade price, 1664. So that was a lot. That was a very busy day. I'm still pissed I screwed up my spreadsheet on CONY, but it is what it is. I'll fix that in a second, like I said. All right, so let's go to the pre-market. I have no idea what time it is, but it's probably getting late. Oh, here we go. More Biden White House on the top announces fresh $1.2 billion of student debt cancellation. Are you freaking kidding me? Unbelievable. We have no money. Oh, God. Bail me out. Pay off my mortgage. All right, pre-market. It's as of 5:59 a.m. TSLY is up 1.37%. Okay, 251.91. TSLY is up 1.56%. It's at 1690. NVDY is up 2.4%. It's at 120.82. NVDY is up 1.75%. It's at 26.82. Coin is up 0.45%. It's at 250.23. CONY is up 0.65%. It's at 2007. MSTR is up 1.51%. It's at 1613.99. MSTY is up 0.49%. It's at 28.46. TSLL is up 2.78%. It's at 1440. TNA is down. TNA is down. Small cap they've been killing it, man. Finally, they're down 1.11%. It's at 4710. AMDY is up 1.77%. It's at 1607. AMZY is up 0.38%. It's at 2109. And BTC is up 0.46%. It's at 64,868. And I think they show the indexes at the top, right? Where is it? There it is. Yeah, so the Dow Yeah, the Dow's up. Nasdaq is, again, I don't know if that's updated on the top left there, but either way, it looks like a lot of the stocks are green. I got myself some SOXL yesterday, man. That crap was tanking. It was down a lot. So again, the chips were just getting destroyed. But either way, so that's the update, guys. Let me know what you guys think of CONY and MSTY. Are you worried? Are you glad the worst part's over? What about TSLY? Are you happy you held on to TSLY? If you have, do you think you're the man? Or are you going to buy TSLY now that they're finally seems to be doing well? And NVDY, what about NVDY? Do you think their price is going to go down, or you think they're going to stay in the mid 20s to high, even 30? I don't know. Outside of these four, who else is the GOAT? Who else is the GOAT? AMZ, right? Who else is out there? Let me know what you guys think. All right. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you were entertained. If not, I will try again tomorrow. All right. So we'll see. And if you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. It goes a long way. I know every video lately I'm getting 5 thumbs down. What's going on, guys? You hate me that much? Messed up. No. I guess interaction is interaction either way, right? But if you have any questions or concerns, leave it in the comments down below. I'll try to get back to you. And yeah, that's it. So if you made it this far into the video, I guess I'll give you a key word for today. Oof. What do we got? I don't know, man. I think, yeah, how about just synthetic drowning, all right? Typically we say synthetic bailout, but today's keyword, because two of these 4 had a synthetic drowning. So today's keyword, if you made it this far in the video, you want to prove it, all you do is post in the comments down below, synthetic drowning, all right? So, but we'll see. It's over now. We can move on from this and be happy. Obviously, the month-to-date income is not that great, but it's not even there, to be honest. But we'll see. We'll see if they can flip this around moving forward. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Let me upload this ASAP, and I will talk to you later. Have a great day.